This is Hannibal here with a daily wrestling news update. Check out my interview with the original Lord Humongous that I did earlier today. Very interesting. His police story, as well as his Mid South stories of Jake Roberts, Steve Williams, Jim Duggan, groupies, a lot of cool stuff in there. Dynamite's rating was up this week post Olympics, did a 0.23 rating. It seemed like a lot of their fans tuned out during the Olympics. More AEW fans tuned out during the Olympics than WWE. Actually, NXT, which only did a 0.14 Tuesday night, did better during the Olympics. A lot of people are complaining that they seem to be pushing Joe Henry over Trick Williams. I don't watch it. I don't know. I can tell you Joe Henry is a decent singer. It looks like, they have a deal with TNA to use him, but they seem very interested in pushing him. So probably whenever his TNA contract runs out, he'll probably be full time, I would assume. He doesn't have the best look, but he's got a good gimmick. Also in AEW news, they did announce today, even though they were having a hard time getting even I think some of the crowds were under 600 in Arlington, Texas for their recent tapings. They are going to a stadium in Texas for All In next year. I'm sure Arlington has given them a deal for that. I saw the Blue Jays play the Texas Rangers there with Charlie Haas back during COVID. We left after I think the 7th inning and went to a strip club, which I actually enjoyed more than the game. Other than I had to drive somebody home after. That was a long drive home, and that part wasn't fun. Anyways, the other interesting thing about AEW is they're having a show between All In and All Out in Chicago, Champaign, Illinois, basically the area of Chicago. And it only has around 1,000 tickets out, including comps. So here's a company that, they're going to get a decent crowd in the UK because the UK is kind of starved for wrestling, but there's not really all that much interest in All In. Let's be honest here. I know that Danielson's wrestling Strickland. I think MJF is wrestling Osprey. Those are the only 2 matches I know. And I don't have any problem with any of those 4 wrestlers, but neither of them are my real style of wrestling. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. But it's interesting. I actually heard Brian Alvarez say that back in the old days, they would announce the main event before they were saying they were going to a stadium because tickets would be bought based off of the match. Now they try and sell tickets based off of, hey, we're going to a stadium. Everyone go because it's in a stadium. I don't know. I'm sure if Arlington's helping them put the show on, they're going to do all they can to get a crowd in there. But whether they'll use the full stadium or have most of it curtained off, time will tell. They do have a far less pre-sale for the Wembley show this year than they did last year. They probably won't come close to breaking last year's record, which most famously had the CM Punk fight with Jack Perry, which I don't even know if Jack Perry's on this show. He very well could be, but I haven't been paying close enough attention to know. Sorry, guys. What's going on with Vince McMahon? The rumor is false. There's nothing wrong with his health. Apparently, this is a bunch of bullshit. His lawyer has confirmed today that his health is fine. And apparently this rumor, of all people, has been fuel to it, has been added by Lee Cole, who is the brother of one of the guys that was allegedly paid a settlement during the Ring Boy scandal, during that time where Pat Patterson retired and Terry Garvin had issues and Pat Patterson resigned for a long time and eventually came back. There's questions whether Patterson was paid during that time, but give me a break. Lee Cole, I mean, this guy's desperate for attention. He has no legitimate connections. That's just, I didn't report it because when I heard these people reporting all this, I thought it was a load of bullcrap. And now that I hear that literally this source of all people is Lee Cole, give me a break. Linda and Vince are technically married. Yes, they are. And Linda recently said everything's fine with them. To be honest, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care. There's so much questionable stuff about Janelle Grant, and I've just heard enough about the lawsuit. Let's see how it plays out in court. But I'm beyond the point of caring about that. I'm sick of hearing about it. Any update on Offa? I haven't heard anything new. I know he had a bunch of operations recently. I heard he's not dead. I can tell you he's not dead. I'm friends with a couple of his sons. He's not dead. I can tell you that 100%. Someone says Jack Perry is wrestling another skinny guy with face paint. You know, as John Paz and I were talking, like AEW, it seems to be infested with guys that that look like your average person can beat them up. Like if you look at the old days, I mean, they do have some big guys. I'm not saying that they don't have some big guys, but there's just is an oversaturation of spot fest crap, an oversaturation of leg slapping, and so many guys that look that you can just flick them like that and they'd be beat in real life. And Tony Khan just time after time, this is exciting. This is exciting. Exciting, exciting, exciting. I'm sick of hearing about how exciting it is. Make me legitimately excited. Maybe if they bring if they bring Shane McMahon, I'll watch one of their clips, but nothing has happened. And I'm never going to get in AEW. I'm never going to get in WWE. I'm never going to get in TNA. I don't care. I'm neutral. But I have watched some WWE clips in the last few weeks. Some stuff has interested me about it. That's made me watch. I've even watched a few TNA clips in the past few weeks, mostly about PCO, because I'm friends with them. Nothing that I've read about AEW has made me want to watch any clip from AEW in the past week. That's just my taste. Do I think Brock's coming back? He's still getting paid. To my knowledge, he's still under WWE contract. It's going to be up to the WWE lawyers as whenever the heats die down enough that he can return. But to my knowledge, he's still under contract. He's got a farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. He's got kids that are involved in college sports. He's keeping busy. He doesn't really care, probably, as long as he's getting paid. I haven't seen any pictures of Brock lately, but you know what? Good for him. He's making money to do nothing. Like, by the way, a lot of people on the AEW roster are doing. But as I said, good for them for making all the money. Apparently, they're not very popular at all in Australia as far as TV viewership. So it'll be interesting that they're trying to do a stadium show in Australia too. How about instead of doing all these stadium shows, you just try and make your products more entertaining to the masses? I guess I don't know if that's ever going to happen or not. One thing that could fill an Australian stadium, or maybe the Texas stadium, is have the Goldberg retirement match. That's one thing they could do that would generate my interest in AEW. But as far as Danielson against Strickland, they both seem like nice guys. I know Strickland's agent. He's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. But I have zero interest in watching that match just because it's not my style. I like the Goldbergs, the Warriors, the Hulk Hogans, the Macho Mans, the Ric Flairs, the Legion of Dooms, the Bruiser Brodies, the Abdullah the Butchers, who, by the way, there's recent pictures of him out with The Undertaker and Triple H, of all people. He's getting around quite a bit, traveling around quite a bit. Anyways, guys, have a good night. Joe Goldberg versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, I like, by the way. There are some people in AEW I like, but who I don't even know who Samoa Joe's wrestling on All In. They like, I mean, for WrestleMania, we all knew the main matches, and I did have interest with the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns one, and also the Rock one. But just for All In, it just seems blah to me. Good night to you, Edward, and check out my interview with Lord Humongous. And I got other interviews cooking, and I'm also going to air another interview. I've acquired a few lately, including the Jimmy Snuka one. There's another one I'm going to start airing very soon that I think you guys are going to like. By the way, yeah, AEW, they got a lot of big guys that just sit at home and collect paychecks. It'd be nice to sit at home and collect a paycheck because I got to work my ass off for every penny I make. But it's bizarre. Someone said it's like he just has wrestlers as toys. Some say in the box for months, and then he pulls out the box, plays with other toys, puts them back, and they just have so much money that they don't care. Who knows? All I know is they do have a lot of great minds in AEW that could help make the product better, more interesting, but it seems like Tony just likes to do everything himself. Logan Paul is never going to be fired. I actually heard him say the other day, not never, but he wants to be more active next year and possibly start teaming with Rey Mysterio. Ricky Starks sitting at home getting paid. There's a good example. Supposedly, they're just letting him sit at home for the remainder of his contract till he goes to WWE. Maybe I'm crazy, but as a booker, I would have this guy on TV. If he's going to WWE, he was fairly over in AEW. I'd be having him put guys over that aren't over as much as him every week until he goes to WWE, rather than just have him sit at home. I don't know. Does that not make sense? Job a guy out before he leaves? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense at all. Jesse Barr interview. Somebody find Jesse Barr for me, and I will do that interview. I would love to do it. Give this video a